Hey, Leo here. Long time no see. And first things first, man, I miss you guys a whole bunch. Yes, I miss watching basketball on TV. I miss going to the restaurant with my friends. I miss not having to watch the news every single day. But in all of this, I miss you guys the most. Okay, I miss our Wednesday nights, our Sunday mornings, our Sunday nights. I miss you guys a bunch. And so much so that you guys know that I'm not a hugger. Okay, I've been publicly social distancing since like 2004. Okay, I'm not a big time hugger, but I miss you guys so much that whenever the CDC says it's okay and President Trump and the Fort Bend County say it's okay for us to go back to church and show affection, okay, Pastor Leo has a hug for anybody who needs one and wants one. Okay, I have a hug for every single one of you. But that's the last one you get for 2020. Okay, you're done after that. So don't get comfortable. That's the last one you get. Use it wisely. Use it very wisely. But that's how much I miss you. But what I want to do in this short video is, man, I just want to read the Bible with you. I would just love to read the Bible with you. I acknowledge off top, man, that this is a little bit awkward. I'm alone in my apartment and I'm staring at a lens and you are staring at a screen and we're not with each other face to face like we usually are. And that's a little bit weird, but the heroes of our faith, okay, the apostles and prophets, the people that God commissioned to write our scriptures, those individuals, they used the technology that was available to them to make much of God, right? So they used the oils they had, the ink that they had, the papyrus that they had, the scrolls and tablets that they had to make much of God. Therefore, I want to use the technology available to us here today for us to stay connected and make much of God. And I trust that God can do amazing things through this. So what I want to do, I want to read the Bible with you for a little bit. So if you don't have a Bible, go ahead and grab your Bible or grab the fake one on your phone. Or if it's easier for you, go to BibleGateway.org right now and go to Psalm 23. Okay, Psalm 23. You have approximately 33 seconds to do that. Ready, set, go.
Change. It's an unavoidable reality in our lives. Locations, jobs, relationships, lifestyles. The question has never been whether or not we will experience change. The question will always be, how will we respond? Will we embrace it and ultimately learn from it, or ignore it and let it overwhelm our lives? Change is coming, ready or not.
Now that video, I don't know if you were listening to that video, but that video couldn't be more true right now. Okay, right now, friends, we're facing a massive, just global change. Okay, but even though there's a huge change going on around the world right now, it's a unique time, but change is inevitable. Okay, change is coming for you and it's coming for me. Change is something that's always happening around. As a matter of fact, there's a Greek philosopher about 500 years before Jesus. His name is Heraclitus, okay, about 500 or so BC. And he's famous for saying the only thing that is constant is change. Okay, things in your life are constantly changing. And I think he has a point right there. Change is constantly happening. And I want to say, I'd like to argue that as a junior higher or a high schooler, you guys know this better than anyone. Okay, you guys know this better than anyone because you guys are in the middle of it and you guys are experiencing change. You guys are seeing it more than anyone really is. Like, for example, your bodies right now are changing rapidly. Like I look at pictures of our winter camp in 2019, and some of you guys, no exaggeration, some of you guys have grown a foot since last year. It's bizarre and it's nasty and it's crazy, but it's true. Like some of you guys are just rapidly growing. So bodies are changing. Or another example of change in your life right now is just that coolness or trends change. Remember in the summer of 2016 when Pokemon Go was the huge craze, and then in the fall of 2017, Fortnite was the huge craze, and now you see people shifting towards TikTok a little bit more. And just like one of the thought experiments that I like to do with you guys is think of this way. What was cool for you 6 years ago? Like what was it cool to dress like 6 years ago? What was cool to watch? What was cool to say 6 years ago? Is that cool right now? So trends and what's considered cool changes, okay? You guys are in the middle of change. You guys know this better than anyone, and that's exciting, man. I think the change that's happening in your life right now is extremely exciting. But there is a daunting side to change. There are a lot of people that are very, very afraid right now. Okay, this massive global change that we're undergoing is scary for a lot of people because change in itself can be very, very scary. Okay, furthermore, change can not only be scary, but change can also be very, very painful. Some of you guys are experiencing that pain right now. Like some of you guys have surprised yourself with the thought of, I, I think I miss school. I think I miss school. Like some of you guys miss school for the very first time. You miss being in class and hanging out with your friends and hearing from your teacher. You miss the hallways. You miss school. Or some of you guys are you're feeling the pain of change when it comes to cabin fever. You're just in the house all day. You're just like, oh, get me out of this place. And you're feeling that stir craziness. You're just, that's a painful thing for you to go through right now. Some of you guys miss church, miss fellowshipping and singing with the people, your peers. Other of you guys are just experiencing the pain of unknown. This massive global shift has hit you in such a way that you're experiencing the pain of unknown. Like what's going to happen? What in the world is going to happen? So change can be scary, and furthermore, change can be painful. But I'm here to tell you, a call to Jesus, like a call to Christ, is a call to have hope. A call to Christ is a call to have hope. Now, in the Bible, you guys have heard me say this a million times. In the Bible, there is a man named David. David, I believe, is the most interesting man in the world because I believe he is Superman. And I don't mean Superman as in Clark Kent ripping ripping into his outfits or in the phone booth. That's not the Superman I mean. I mean Superman like Fiesta, Texas, or Schlitterbahn Superman, like the roller coaster, okay? Because his life is one gigantic change factory. Things are constantly changing in David's life. Like whenever he's your age, whenever he's in junior high or high school, he's out there taking care of sheep. And then long story short, he ends up killing Goliath. And the king that appointed him to kill Goliath is super happy for him. But then he gets jealous and he starts chasing David all throughout the wilderness. And this chase is nothing like the glory of killing Goliath. This chase throughout the wilderness is super scary. It's very, very scary. And in the midst of this chase throughout where Saul is chasing him, David's best friend dies. And then the king who's chasing him also dies. But then David's anointed king. And as king, David starts winning a bunch of battles and a bunch of wars to the point where he's starting to become renowned as one of the best war generals in the entire world. And then God speaks to David in an incredible promise. I mean, one of the most explosive promises of the entire Bible. It's actually in 2 Samuel 7 where God speaks to David and he tells him this, listen, one of your great grandchildren, one of your descendants is going to be the eternal king of the world. Jesus. That's an incredible promise. And with that type of confidence, David keeps winning more and more battles and becoming more heralded and honored as one of the best kings in the world, one of the mightiest warriors in the world. But in the midst of his peak, he sees a beautiful woman and he has sex with that beautiful woman. And then he basically has her husband assassinated. Okay? And she's not his wife. And then he makes her his wife. And then they have a baby together. And that baby dies after just 7 days. And then while he's mourning that death, one of David's other kids, Absalom, says, you know what? If I kill dad, I can become king. Okay, so he starts chasing David all throughout the wilderness, just like Saul did. So David's life is just a constant roller coaster. It keeps going up and down and up and down and up and down. Now, at least twice in David's life, he's on the run being chased by somebody who wants to kill him. But here's the cool thing. We have his prayer journal. Okay, we have his prayer journal. Okay, God screenshotted the conversations they had. and we get to read them. We have them right now in the Psalms. We have his prayer journal. And the cool thing about the Psalms is that Jesus keeps referencing back and referring back to the Psalms, because the confidence that David has is something that you and I are called to. The confidence that David has in God is something that you and I are called to. I just want to read one of those with you right now. And it's Psalm 23. And I want to read one verse. I only want to read one verse to you right now. Okay? I usually like to break an entire passage down, but I just want to read one verse to you. It says Psalm 23, verse 1. Okay? Psalm 23, verse 1. It says this: "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." Friends, David experiences so many changes. But what is David's rock in times of change? Okay, what's David's rock in times of the roller coaster of life? David's rock is that God is here. That's his anchor. That's his rock, is that God is present. So he calls God his shepherd. Now, you've heard me say this a million times at church, but sheep can't just go out there and take care of themselves. Okay? By calling God a shepherd, he's calling himself one of the sheep, and sheep cannot go out there and take care of themselves. But more than any other livestock, okay, sheep are reliant on their caretaker. They need and require endless amount of attention and meticulous care, just constant 24/7 hour care. So by him calling God a shepherd, he's saying, God, you're here. Okay, you are here with me. Now, David, he would know about sheep more than you and I know about sheep, because he was a shepherd whenever he was your age. He spent a lot of time with sheep, and he knows that sheep are foolish and they're defenseless and they're weak. And he knows in order to take care of sheep, and especially to care well for sheep, you have to be wise and courageous. And he's calling God wise and courageous, the provider and the preserver in every way. So, friends, by calling God his shepherd, David is saying, God, you are here and you are hands-on. You're not an astronaut with his hands folded. God, you are here and you are hands-on. Now, I want to turn your attention to the most important, what I feel is the most important part of this sentence, okay? The most important word. It's the word my. The Lord is my shepherd. I ask you guys this a bunch at church, but what's the grand prize for the Christian? What's the grand prize for the Christian? Is it a good reputation in the world? Is it a great marriage? Is it a good and easy life? What's the grand prize for the Christian? Friends, listen to me. The grand prize for being a Christian is you get God. Okay, we get God. That's what's going to make heaven enjoyable, is that we get to be with God and enjoy God forever. It isn't just like heaven is a place where like we all get go-karts and the Rainbow Road is there. And if you win the race on Rainbow Road, you get unlimited pizza. And if you get second place, you still get unlimited pizza. That's not what makes heaven enjoyable. What makes heaven enjoyable is that we get God. We get to hang out and enjoy God forever. Christianity is not just a bunch of ideas and facts to be regurgitated and understood, but it's a person to be known and a person to be enjoyed. We get God. That's the end. That's the grand prize for the Christian. As a matter of fact, the second to last chapter of the entire Bible, Revelation 21 verse 3 says this: "And I heard a loud voice from the throne," okay, saying, "Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God." So God is the grand prize. He is the trophy for the Christian. He is the grand prize. And you actually see a snippet of this or a little trailer of this in this very passage that we're reading in the Psalms. Okay, look at the end of that sentence. Look at that second phrase. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." Or the New Living Translation puts it like this: "The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need." Like, I have God and I am satisfied. Okay, I am satisfied in the Lord. So I think it was like in 2011, 2012, I don't remember what year that was, but there was a book that came out. It was a famous book called Jesus Plus Nothing Equals Everything. That was the title of the book, Jesus Plus Nothing Equals Everything. And guys, let me tell you something. That book is the greatest book that I never read. I never actually read it, but that title is fire because it's hitting on the texture of this exact passage, okay? The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything that I need. So what was David's rock in times of change? What was David's seatbelt in the roller coaster of change? Okay, if you don't have a seatbelt while you were in a roller coaster, you're going to be bird food in the parking lot. Okay? What was David's seatbelt in times of change? It was that God is here. God is present. The Most High is still just molecules away. I don't know how you're feeling about this. I know how I feel. I don't know if you're scared. I know for sure. I've talked to some of you. I know some of you are bored to death. I know some of you guys are sad. So I haven't talked to all of you, but I've talked to enough of you. I know that fear, boredom, and sadness seem to be predominant themes throughout this new change. But I just want to encourage you to say that, man, God is still God. And God is still here. And He is here and He's hands-on. Okay, He is here and He is hands-on. Now, what does that mean for your life? Right? What does that mean for you? We're going to talk about that on Sunday. So on Sunday, we're going to have what's called a Zoom meeting. Okay, Zoom is a teleconference app where you can, it's like FaceTime. Okay, it's a lot like FaceTime on iPhones. I don't have an iPhone. You can laugh, Pearson and Emily Grace. I don't have an iPhone, okay? I have a Galaxy, okay? Don't make fun of me. But Zoom allows us to see each other and talk to each other. And I can have as many people on our Zoom conference call as I want. So below this video, I'm going to put a little link, or above, below or above, I don't know where. I'm going to put a little link where you could click that at 7:30 on Sunday. Set a little reminder on your phone for like 7:20, go set up Zoom. But at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and we're going to discuss the rest of this passage. Okay, what does this mean that God is here and that God is hands-on? Okay, so we're going to dissect the rest of this passage. So 7:30 Sunday, Zoom meeting, junior high and high school, girls and boys, we're all invited, and let's just chat and let's just pray with one another as well in light of this passage. So I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.